Arthur's new friend. Arthur the LMS tank engine was sleeping in the siding when the Fat Controller arrived. He had some important news for Arthur. You must welcome the new engine. His name is Porter, and he's really friendly. Arthur was excited. Yes, sir, he said, and here he is right now. At last the new engine came. He looked familiar and didn't look similar to Arthur, but he was a really good engine. The Fat Controller finally spoke to Arthur. This is Porter, he said. Porter is going to work with you today. Hello, said Porter. Hello, said Arthur. So you're Porter? Hi, he said. Porter was very surprised to meet Arthur. Arthur had never seen an engine like Porter before. The Fat Controller finally spoke to the two engines. Today, he said, I want you to take some stone trucks to the quarry. Yes, sir, they said. And at last, Porter and Arthur were off. It was nice to meet you, said Arthur. After all, I think we are going to become friends. I think so too, said Porter. And with that, the two engines were now friends, and they were off to get some stone trucks together. They arrived at the yard, and Arthur was coupled to the stone trucks, and the two engines were off. Everywhere Arthur and Porter went, the engines all admired Arthur's new friend, Porter, and Porter was very pleased. So was Arthur. The two engines enjoyed chatting to each other, and they were really now good friends. They didn't mind what they did. They raced along the line together. They raced along the line together while pulling the stone trucks. But the trucks knew better not to try any tricks. Porter began having fun, and so did Arthur. The two friends went so fast that they finally reached the quarry. They began talking and chatting to each other as they went up the quarry hill. At last they've made it, and the stones were delivered. Arthur was very pleased, and so was Porter. I like it at this railway, he said, all because we can chat alongside forever. I know, said Arthur. It's been good though, he said. Anyway, let's go back to the shed. The evening is beginning now. Agreed, said Porter, and the two friends were off. The next day later, Porter and Arthur were still having fun together when they saw some workmen on the turntable, and Duke, Gordon, Connor, and Caton were stuck in the sheds. Porter and Arthur bustled in to see what was going on. What are the workmen doing to the turntable? Asked Porter. It got jammed last night, said Duke, and this morning we were about to get out, and then suddenly the turntable wouldn't move. And we're stuck here forever, said Gordon. You all won't be, said Porter. We're going to get some more workmen. We're going to get some more workmen now. And with that, Porter and Arthur set off to get their coaches and find some more workmen to do the job. The four engines were pleased and were really happy that the two engines were helping as well. At last, the two engines got their coaches, and they were still ready to go to the station. They made it at last. The workmen got on board Porter's coach first, and the other group on Arthur's coach. At last, the two engines had their coaches loaded with workmen, and they were off to the turntable. They were ready to go back, that they couldn't wait to become a good team. "Let's do this," thought Porter. "We should," said Arthur, and they were both off. They were ready at last and hurried along. They couldn't wait for the Fat Controller to be pleased with them. At last they arrived to the sheds. More workmen did the job, and the turntable was finally fixed, and the 4 engines were ready to get out. The day became late, and then Porter and Arthur took a nap in the sheds after all their hard work they've done, when Connor, Gordon, Caitlin and Duke arrived to congratulate them. Thank you for what you did for us," said Caitlin. "We couldn't have done it without you." "No problem," said Porter. "Arthur and I were a pretty good team." "Yeah," said Arthur. What would you 4 do without us?" At last, the Fat Controller arrived. Those 4 have told me what an excellent team you two were. Both of you should be proud of yourselves." "Thank you, sir," said the 2 engines. They were really useful friends, and they were now good friends until forever.